If you're a loan officer, if you're in the mortgage industry, if you're struggling to generate leads for yourself, check out this interview I had with Nick Carpenter from legionofloanofficers.com. We went through some strategies on how loan officers can generate more leads for themselves. Check out this video. What's up? It's Andrew here. I'm here with Nick Carpenter from Legion of Loan Officers. What's the URL for Legion of Loan Officers, Nick?
legionofloanofficers.com.
Okay, easy enough.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of Nick's stuff. Nick's seen some of our stuff. He's got really good creative. I definitely like how Nick runs his ads. And, I mean, they're different. They interrupt the normal patterns of social media and the endless, mindless scrolling, which I think is a lot of times the very first battle in getting cold traffic to convert and getting people kind of into your little ecosystem. But Nick, how long have you been running Facebook ads for?
So I started running Facebook ads in 2012. Was the first time, like September 2012 was the first time I ever taught loan officers Facebook ads. So we started around August, and then we just started teaching them like within the mortgage company I was at the time.
Yeah. Were you like tasked with that specific duty as to do like the social media, or were you wearing like a lot of different hats at the time?
I was brought in to like basically start the marketing department at the corporate office in Dallas for Benchmark Mortgage. And so just I just started seeing people using Facebook ads, and like I just started dabbling in it. So it was tough to get. Sometimes, you know, when you go with a new idea to the company, like they don't want to give you money for it. So I would go and talk to branch managers that I had a good relationship with, and they'd give me $400, $500 a month. And so I just started playing around with it. You know, at the time, basically running like ads for list of homes, you know, using a job form.
Yeah, my dad was a loan officer. I remember him, like it sounds so stupid, but I remember him talking to me on the phone about Facebook ads and Facebook, and, you know, him being like, you know, in his mid 60s, like, what do you think about like Facebook and running ads? And like, and I remember at the time, it was like 2006, I think I was either at Texas Tech or I transferred to UNT, and I was just like, who's Facebook ads on like for leads? What are you talking about? Like, and now it's like 10 years later, and it's just, I don't know. I wish I had some foresight to be able to get ahead of the trend and get ahead of the wave before it started becoming so mainstream, I guess. Avoid all these high CPMs. You remember your first client, or was that the mortgage one was your first? Yeah,
that was I mean, really doing it for those branch managers was the first. Yeah, I can feel that happens to us too. The branch managers, you know, that was the first people that I started working with. You know, I had a guy up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and a guy out in San Diego. You know, were my first two people that actually gave me money. And so that's when I just, you know, like I said, really just testing super basic ads at that point. You know, just with a couple pictures of houses, running it to a job form, grabbing the leads that way. You know, and then just doing some manual stuff on the back end. Yeah.
That's funny. You get people pop in y'all's conversations?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we use the same link for a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
same here.
You know, yeah, so you just never know what will happen.
If they schedule it through like Calendly, it'll be a specific link. But as one of my buddies, Jay, and say he popped in early. So local ads with a low budget. Let's say I'm a loan officer and I'm thinking about joining your group and whatnot, and I have like a $500 budget, and I live in Lincoln, Nebraska. Like, and I'm only licensed in I'm only licensed in Nebraska. Is that something that, you know, is it worth it for me to do that and run ads at 500, or should I continue to grow more and wait until my budget's a little bit higher?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, so to me, $500 is plenty of money for a local loan officer, especially starting out if they're just an independent guy. You know, because between that, you could run a couple of different levels of ads. You know, even just for $500 a month, figure that's about what's maybe like $17 a day or something like that. So let's say, for example, $17 a day. All right, so what I could do with that is I would take $10 and I'd run $10 using one of my realtor's listings. And I'd run a listing ad for $10 a day. And like in Lincoln, Nebraska, that'd probably get me like 5 or 10 leads a day. So then I'll have a whole process to follow up with them. And then I'll take $5 and I'll put that on retargeting. So I put $5 a day on retargeting all the people that click my forums, people that watch my videos, people that like my page, people that visit my website, my database, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll take the other $2 and I'll put that on some realtor videos. So I'll get like one of my realtors to give a testimonial. So I'll get them to tell other realtors how great I am. And then I'll run the other $1 on some kind of video,
crazy,
like teach a realtor something, you know?
I'll run this $1. I'm not used to those kinds of budgets, but I mean, man, it's like, there's so many people that they don't have the budgets of like, $3,000 a month to be able to run ads, and they got to start somewhere and get some traction. I mean, that's like, I would say that's more like 80% of people who are out there are the people that are wanting to run $500 a day, a month in ads versus people that are wanting to run 3,000. So, I mean, that's like a pretty money game plan for people who just don't have the funds to be able to get it, but they're trying to get there. They just don't know what to do.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, somebody that obviously $500 a month, they can never hire us, or, they could never hire you. They couldn't hire my brother, or people that have agencies, just, that wouldn't be feasible. But $500 a month, if you can have a little skills and a little trial and error, maybe, or, I mean, if you come in the Legion or some of these places where you can learn a little ads, then $500 a month is plenty to start testing with. And then what's cool is for a loan officer, if they can demonstrate success, so like, let's say they spend that $500, they maybe turn that into 1 or 2 deals or something, then they can probably go get money from realtors and then be able to, instead of 500, spend 1,000 next month because they got 500 from a realtor, or get a few $100 from a couple different realtors, or get some money from an insurance agent. There's people like that everybody has a budget. They don't necessarily know where to put it. So if you can demonstrate to them some success, a lot of times you can grab their budget too.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the people that hear all that stuff, I forget what the quote is, but it's like, most people don't answer the door for opportunity because it knocks dressed as overalls.
Yeah.
They hear that they want to just go $500. Where are the leads at? Where are they at? But when it comes to trying to scale out their own business, and now it's, you've got to go meet up with insurance agents, realtors, and you got to start hustling and bustling. A lot of people, you find out, don't actually want to do that. They just kind of want just the results, but they don't want to put any kind of work into it whatsoever. But I mean, all that stuff that you're saying is like super smart. And it sounds like a legit plan for somebody who, it sounds like you've done this more than one time, chatting with different loan officers.
Yeah. Just because so many people have that kind of small budget, or they have more money, but especially if they're just starting to get in social media, or particularly with running ads and stuff. A lot of people, even though you really like $500 probably is a little bit low I would say like 1,000 is probably a better ad audience, or better ad budget to start with. So I don't know, man, I like to play craps, and sometimes doing ads is like playing craps to me, where you just gotta be willing to bet off, enough to like have a chance to win, but if you walk up there and you just bet like $5 on the 6, it's like, you might crap out before you get paid. So, and then you think like, oh, this doesn't work. Right. But same thing with ads. A lot of times people, they spend like $5 and then they try to say that it doesn't work,
A lot of the top marketers that I'm buddies with and friends, like running ads for so long and seeing different success with stuff, it starts to like kind of make you just like a gambler, because you can see what you can get out of it. And it's like, it's gambling every day when you set your budgets and this and that. And like, there's plenty of times where I just will start off like 500, $1,000 a day, just start running it. Like, and I don't ever really take it as a loss, because I get data back from that. I learn from it. I get eyeballs on my brand. And so I might spend maybe $10,000 in a month, and like my business didn't incrementally grow the way I wanted it to, but it's not necessarily really too much of a bad thing, as long as you're kind of staying consistent with what you're doing, and you're making the most out of those people that are coming to your brand and liking your Instagram page or going to your Facebook page and all that stuff. Starts to make like $3,000 a month seem, even the 500 seems super low. What are the, like, would you say that are like the top 3 tools that you use as a Facebook marketer that like you couldn't live without?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, obviously right now, I love the fact that Facebook gives you full access to everybody's ads. So the fact that you can, like, you go to page transparency, click and see anybody's ad library, I think that's super cool. At first I didn't like it, but now I really do like it. I just like the fact that you can see anything that people have going on.
Makes
you know?
everybody kind of level up, and as everybody kind of starts to get better and better and better and better, everybody kind of buoys up.
Yeah. I mean, so that to me is a great one. The Facebook lead forms, I mean, we use them a ton, right? We call them training wheels, you know, because in a lot of ways, like a lot of marketers, they talk shit about Facebook lead forms, you know, it's like, oh, that's for like kids, or that's the training wheels approach. So we just like took it and ran with the idea and just kind of branded it as training wheels, but it also works super easy. It gets the highest conversion. You get a lot of people that click into the forms. And so from retargeting, it's really great. So like, I love using the Facebook lead forms.
Yeah.
Because of it's so easy, you know, in terms of teaching people, they don't have to go learn another platform. And we have a strategy we call Trojan forms, which is like using Facebook lead forms, but adding in custom questions, you know, and if you do that, then you can kind of get that same survey effect. You know, a lot of people, a lot of my competitors, and we use 𝐕𝐈𝐍𝐒 and stuff too, but, you know, a lot of people only run survey funnels, but we're getting basically the same results using lead forms, just adding custom questions on top, you know?
I used to do that, and instead of selecting the auto-populated number, would just write number in a custom thing, so it would force them to write their number in. But I believe that within the last month, it said we can't do that anymore. Maybe it was just mine. Yeah. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, we've been having to use the pre-fill on the number, but we can ask them custom questions like, you know, what's their ideal monthly payment, and, you know, if they own or rent, we can just get them to where at least they can be a much more higher quality lead than if you just use the pre-fills.
Yeah, I've used lead forms a handful of times, but personally, I've never been able to get them to where I've got a level of my volume is high plus the quality is good. It's like you either get either or. Yeah. You either get like a ton, totally, but the quality is crap, or you get only a few, but the quality is really good. I've never been able to kind of calibrate it so that they're both, and I'm getting the good volume. And I mean, I still think of lead forms often, especially when it comes to lead generation stuff, just because so many different companies, I mean, they've got to run quickly and don't necessarily have time to create squeeze pages and all that stuff. And with taking them out of Facebook's ecosystem, you're also creating another obstacle and a barrier to getting a conversion. Whereas keeping them on Facebook, they prefer that, and you get higher volume. And man, if you've been able to get that to work and work really well, I can definitely see that being kind of like a honey hole.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, like I say, we sometimes just run just the short forms where it's just the pre-fills, but, you know, that's like you said, you're going to get your most amount of leads, but definitely the worst quality, you know, and then if you ask them custom questions, it'll increase the quality, increase the cost a little bit. And then, you know, go into so we use 𝐕𝐈𝐍𝐒, I guess, would be another piece that we're using. And then on all of our follow-up stuff, we have our own little kind of CRM light called KLT CRM. It's like the know, like, and trust CRM, but basically it's just designed as automation, you know, to help convert the leads and does some weekly emails and that kind of thing. You know, it's not a CRM in the sense of what most people, you know, it's not going to tie in with show you all your loan data and all that kind of stuff that some people want to know about, but it's just a, you know, lead conversion tool.
Gotcha. Do you have any preference on graphic ads versus video?
I mean, personally, I use a ton of videos. You know, I like videos because I think it's an opportunity to stand out. You know, it's kind of like we were talking about the other video I did, you know, and just like like you talked about betting on your business. You know, I paid that guy $2,500 to come down to Puerto Rico, help me shoot the video and edit it and stuff. And, you know, and it's like, you know, I'll bet a couple more thousand to figure out if people are going to actually like it online or what's the response going to be, you know? Yeah. And so we just got the ads that are starting up today. So we'll see how people respond back to that. But I like doing videos because of the retargeting that's available, you know, and you can go create different levels to where if they see this video, then show them this video, then show them this video. And I really like kind of taking people down a rabbit hole, I guess, on some level, you know, where you can control what they're seeing from you with those different video layers. Yeah, I mean, that's for sure. One of, like, I think, like, the best parts of it is being able to make those seed audiences from whoever watched, basically just whoever's seen the specific ad that I ran. I don't know why they haven't made that available for graphic ads the way that they have with video, but it would certainly be that'd be pretty awesome if they did. Yeah, that'd be helpful. I never even thought about that, actually. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet because they have to have the data, right? Who's seen the picture? Of course. Huh. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Preference on auto placement or not running auto placement? Yeah, so as a general statement, I just run on auto placement. The only time I usually change it is if it's a super low budget. And so, you know, like we talked about earlier, if it's like a $5 a day, $10 a day budget, then I'll switch it to newsfeed only.
Yeah.
And just to be able to test it there. And then, you know, as things, if it's working, then you can open it back up, or if it's not, you know, you can turn it off. But a lot of times just for testing, small budget, if it's on some articles and stuff that you know, it's going to not convert nearly as well as the newsfeed. So I usually change it around if it's just tiny budget.
Yeah. That goes into the whole like branding thing. If people are seeing your video in like a Forbes article or something.
Yeah.
Embedded. What other questions did I have? You believe in seasoning the pixel?
I definitely think you can season the pixel for sure. And even, you know, separating them out. Do what?
Oh, it's like I see it being debated so often.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can definitely use a pixel and train a pixel, right? So like one of my buddies, Luke Shankula, he's a great example because before everything changed, he ran a ton of like healthcare teacher campaigns and that kind of stuff for loan officers. And now he has so much pixel data that he can just run a wide open lookalike audience and he can still, you know, he can still be able to get all the same lead conversion without having to use any interests or any of that kind of stuff, you know, and it's all just been based off of how the pixel, you know, fires on only the people that get all the way to the completion point, you know, so we're just using conditional logic, kick people out if they don't answer the right way we want them to, so that only the best people get to the thank you page. Yeah. And then build a lookalike audience, you know, once you have enough data off of that. So, you know, all of that was done off of seasoning the pixel, man. So it can certainly be done.
I've got time for like one more question, but I was going to ask you, I had seen in a handful of groups, it seemed like a hot topic or something like, I don't know, people latch on to things like every like month or two, they're like, this is why you're not getting the results. And it's like how I got 10X and all that. But what I had been seeing was people timing their pixel fires, and that, you know, you wait 3 seconds and then fire. Well, I mean, you wait 10 seconds and then you fire, and then, you know, but you guys do anything with that? I don't personally, but do y'all do?
I don't personally do it. I mean, I know some marketers that do that, you know, that put a 3 second or 5 second delay firing the pixel. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's probably a good idea. Yeah. But
yeah, the time.
In general, yeah, I just don't do it. I guess that's my easy answer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the time to sit there and at least test that. I'm running too fast and managing too much different stuff to be able to start going. And I feel like that's like, I don't know, you need somebody who's like IT background or development background to go in there and methodically do it all the right. I'll probably do it, break it 3 different ways and screw it up. So I'm just like, I'll just keep doing the way that we should normally probably be doing with installing the code.
Yeah, I figure Facebook is good enough to tell if somebody was a bot, if they can't bounce in and out, you know, or I don't know, maybe not, right? But man, Facebook sure seems smart because it's like every time they make changes and people are panicking about the change, you know, oh, how this is going to affect us. Like when, you know, now they have that special categories box we have to check for our ads, and, you know, and it takes away like 90% of the stuff you used to be able to target. People freaking out, but it's like our cost per lead has gone down since that changed, which makes me say that Facebook is smarter than the advertiser in general, because when we used to determine who should see it and all this, and now Facebook decides a lot of that for us, like they're doing a better job than we were doing, you know? So it's kind of interesting just that. So I assume like on the pixel, you know, and some of those things, it's like, they're probably already smart enough to know that that bot hit it for 0.3 seconds and left, you know?
Yeah, I've got a client we've been doing like tremendous lead generation for, doing really well. And we were supposed to have these updates done in August for special ad category. We didn't make any of the changes. We didn't touch anything. And then we just kept letting it go. And then September, there was supposed to be another one, I think. And then that didn't come. It's supposed to be February is like the you know, migration. It's going to switch it regardless. I know that whenever we have switched or touched any of the ads, we can no longer run our lookalike audiences, anything like that. And so at the time right now, like we haven't touched anything. We haven't messed with it for like literally like months, and it's still churning out a lot of good stuff. And we're able to use our lookalike audiences. But I know once we hit that special ad category, it's going to wipe all that stuff out. And my rep has been telling me that while it does do that, still you can have some interests that you target, and then to start utilizing interest expansion. Do you use that?
We use interest expansion, yeah.
Yeah, I normally haven't, but with the special ad category stuff, I feel like I'm going to have to.
Yeah, there's still a pretty decent amount of interests that are in there, you know, in terms of like, you know, real estate interest, mortgage interest, you know, some of those different things are still in there. So like I said, in general, for us, unless you're going after some specific niche. So the only, like, some of the stuff that we used to do did get taken away, right? Where we could go target a specific company, or job titles and some of that kind of stuff. Like, all that is gone. So that's the point of seasoning the pixel, right? It's like, if you can still get there in front of those people somehow, get them into the pixel, you can still be able to get that audience. But, some of those tactics that we used to teach, like in 2018, they just don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because, man, like, running ads to a specific company, that was our number one strategy. By far and away, the best converting ad we've ever ran is running an ad that says, hey, do you work at American Airlines? Click here and find out about our American Airlines employee special or whatever, something like that, right? Crushes. But, man, it's just super unfortunate that on a general statement, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, because that ad was so good.
Thanks, Cambridge.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nick, I appreciate you joining me. It's been a couple times trying to get you on the horn here. I know you're a busy guy, but yeah, I appreciate you joining me for the call. And again, the website is Legion of Loan Officers. If you're a loan officer and you're looking to level up your game and start to generate more leads this year. Nick, I appreciate you being on here with me. And yeah, I'll just sign off at that.
Awesome, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, bro.